If you're feeling tired no matter how much you sleep, if your money seems to disappear faster than it comes, or if arguments have quietly replaced laughter in your home, look at your wardrobe. Not your habits, not your luck, your wardrobe. Because sometimes the object that drains us the most doesn't scream, it whispers. It doesn't shake the walls, it stands quietly in a corner, absorbing light, peace, and clarity like a sponge left to mold in silence. You might have placed your wardrobe exactly where you thought it belonged. It fits, it's convenient, but that convenience could be the reason your life feels off. A wardrobe is not just wood and hinges, it's a vault of your energy. Every shirt you've cried in, every dress you wore when your heart raced, the coat you wrapped around yourself the day the world felt too cold. These aren't just clothes, they're memory holders, energy carriers. And when they gather in one place, your wardrobe becomes a reservoir, a force field. But depending on where you place it, that energy either nourishes you or eats away at your foundation. There is one particular spot in the home, one specific position, that turns your wardrobe from a keeper of calm into a silent thief. And what it steals is not always obvious at first. It starts small, sleepless nights, a foggy mind. Then a sudden misfortune that you brush off. But it keeps happening. Because the energy that should be flowing through your home is stuck behind that wardrobe. Even the wealthiest people, those who have built empires, have seen everything unravel after placing this one object in the wrong place. This video is not about style or design. It's about protection, realignment, and understanding the quiet power of space. So before you rearrange your life, let's look at the one piece of furniture that may be quietly rearranging you. Part 1, the hidden force of the wardrobe. You may think it's just furniture, just a box of wood and hinges meant to keep your clothes out of sight. But your wardrobe is far more than a container. It is one of the most energetically charged places in your entire home, perhaps even the most powerful. And most people never realize it. A wardrobe doesn't simply hold fabric. It holds residue, emotional, mental, and energetic. Every garment inside has touched your skin, witnessed your stress, absorbed your excitement, sadness, fatigue. The jacket you wore the day everything went wrong. The dress you haven't touched since that one hopeful evening. These aren't just clothes. They are silent witnesses to your emotional seasons. And gathered together behind closed doors, they become a potent, energetic mix, quietly shaping the atmosphere of your room. Unlike bookshelves or kitchen counters, your wardrobe is in intimate contact with your daily rhythm. You stand before it in the vulnerable moments of waking up, and again when the day is done. That repetition makes it an energetic anchor in your home, one that can hold you steady or pull you down, depending entirely on where and how it stands. When aligned correctly, it becomes a quiet stabilizer, a background force that supports clarity, rest, and emotional balance. But if it sits in a place where energy stagnates or clashes, especially near entry points or heavy zones, it begins to work against you. And that resistance creeps in subtly. You may feel tired for no clear reason. You wake up in the morning already overwhelmed. You forget small things. You start reacting sharply to moments that wouldn't have bothered you before. Maybe you've blamed it on age, hormones, stress. But the truth is, you might be living in a room where the energy can't breathe because your wardrobe is blocking or compressing it. Not physically blocking, but energetically suffocating the space. Most people notice it as a heaviness they can't quite name. A room that feels colder even when it's warm. A lingering tension in the air. The wardrobe doesn't need to look messy or broken to cause disruption. In fact, the most polished surfaces often hide the most neglected energy. Because behind that clean exterior, The wardrobe may be filled with forgotten clothes, unprocessed feelings, unfinished chapters. The wardrobe is not passive. It is not neutral. It gathers what you no longer process, and if you place it without care, it amplifies the very things you're trying to escape. You may think of it as storage, but energetically, it's a mirror, a magnet, and a memory box all in one. So ask yourself, not about the color, the size, or the brand, but about the presence. Does your wardrobe feel like relief or weight? Do you feel ease when you open it, or dread you've learned to ignore? The answers may reveal more than you expect. Part 2, 3 harmful positions that drain your life force. 1. Right by the bedroom door, the forgotten gate. If your wardrobe is the first thing you see when you walk into your bedroom, it may be silently choking your energy. The bedroom door is not just an entrance. It is a threshold, an energetic gate that separates the outer world from your inner sanctuary. In the first 2 seconds after opening that door, your brain begins to register the space. Is it calm? Is it safe? Is it breathable? But if your line of sight lands on a large, bulky wardrobe, especially one with sharp edges, dark tones, or sheer size, you've already disrupted the invitation to rest. It may not seem like a big deal, but energy doesn't operate on logic. It moves by feeling, weight, and subtle impressions. A wardrobe placed right at the door compresses that vital entry point. The chi, or life force, that would normally flow gently into your bedroom gets squeezed, deflected, or stuck. And so does your nervous system. You walk into the room and something feels off. A slight irritation. A resistance. You shrug it off again and again, but it builds. Over time, your body associates entering your bedroom with tension. Your eyes don't see openness, they see a wall, and that wall isn't just physical, it's energetic. It tells your mind. There's no room here, no space to exhale, no soft place to land. What starts as a small blockage becomes a habit of discomfort. You might begin to feel tired more often. You toss and turn at night. Your thoughts race even when you're lying still. The room becomes visually and energetically tight, no matter how tidy it looks. And the consequences ripple out. Decreased sleep quality, mood instability, strained relationships. Because when the place meant for rest becomes subtly confrontational, the spirit doesn't fully return home. A wardrobe by the door also influences your sense of control. The bedroom is where you prepare for the day and release it at night. It's where clarity should rise in the morning and peace should settle in the evening. But with a visual and energetic obstruction waiting at the gate, your subconscious begins to feel cornered. You may find yourself delaying decisions, avoiding deep rest, second-guessing simple things, or waking up already drained. Not because of what's inside the wardrobe, but where it stands. Even more dangerously, this placement trains your brain into avoidance. The discomfort becomes familiar. You normalize the heaviness. You stop looking at the wardrobe altogether, but the tension remains. You stop noticing how quickly you move through your room without breathing deeply. The space stops supporting you. Instead, it becomes a silent echo chamber of fatigue and hesitation. There's also a symbolic layer. The wardrobe represents what you carry, your identities, your masks, your memories. Placing it right at the entrance means that every time you cross the threshold into your most personal space, you're confronted not with calm, but with the weight of everything you've worn and endured. Instead of shedding the world at the door, you're walking into a visual reminder of its demands. Now think about how many times per day you enter and exit that room. That wardrobe isn't just there. It's programming you little by little. It tells your mind, here's a barrier, here's a task, here's bulk. And soon, your bedroom becomes less of a sanctuary and more of a corridor you pass through quickly. It's not only about flow, it's about how that flow greets you. Imagine entering your bedroom and seeing space, soft lighting, a sense of openness. Your nervous system begins to unwind before you even reach the bed. That's the difference a few feet can make. That's the difference between energetic compression and expansion. So what can you do? If possible, relocate the wardrobe entirely. Pull it away from the doorway. Allow that threshold to breathe. Let your eyes scan softness, not obstruction, the moment you enter. If moving isn't an option, reposition it so it doesn't directly face or flank the entry. Rotate it. Shift it to a side wall. Or if you're constrained by structure, use subtle buffers. A sheer curtain, a tall plant, or a light wooden screen to symbolically reopen the entrance. You can even shift the visual narrative with something simple. Hang a calming image where the wardrobe used to dominate the view. Place a small lamp with warm light near the door. Lay a soft rug that guides the feet toward rest, not resistance. Energy doesn't demand grand renovations. It asks for awareness, flow, space. And one final note: if your wardrobe creaks, slams, or has stiff handles, fix it. These micro-interruptions further disrupt the delicate energy at the threshold. That moment of entering your room should feel like stepping into a calm lake, not stumbling into clutter, sound, or pressure. The wardrobe near your bedroom door may have been convenient, but now it's time to ask: has that convenience come at the cost of your clarity, your calm, your sleep? Don't underestimate the power of the first thing your eyes meet. That single image sets the tone for everything that follows. Your doorway isn't just a space, it's a beginning. And beginnings deserve to be open, clean, and light. Move the weight, free the gate. Let the energy enter gently and fully, like breath, like grace. 2. Next to or facing the bathroom, the hidden drain. If your wardrobe stands near the bathroom, or worse, directly across from the toilet door, you're placing your energy storage right next to the most draining point in your home. The bathroom is where energy exits. It's the space where the body releases waste, where water flows out, where impurities are washed away. On a physical level, it's functional, but energetically, it is dense, heavy, and constantly shifting. This space carries what is no longer needed, both physically and emotionally. It's a yin zone, moist, dark, and downward in energy movement, and anything placed too close to it becomes susceptible to that downward pull. The wardrobe, on the other hand, is a holding zone. It stores what is close to you: your clothes, accessories, your energetic residue. Every piece of fabric inside has been in contact with your skin, your breath, your moods. It doesn't just hold outfits, it holds your energy field. So what happens when you place that container of intimate frequency next to a space that constantly flushes away life force? It begins to leak, not visibly, but energetically. The wardrobe starts absorbing low vibration. The clothes feel heavier. The air becomes dense. You might start noticing your favorite pieces don't feel the same when you wear them. They no longer uplift, they cling. You feel tired in clothes that used to energize you, restless in outfits that once felt like home. This isn't imagination, it's energetic osmosis. The bathroom's constant release of energy interferes with the wardrobe's ability to preserve and protect. The imbalance shows up in strange ways. Mood swings, low energy, trouble focusing, even physical symptoms like cold limbs, insomnia, or tension in the stomach and chest. For women, this placement is especially harmful. The feminine body is deeply attuned to environmental signals. Wardrobes near bathrooms can contribute to hormonal imbalances, fatigue, irritability, and emotional heaviness. You might not link it to furniture at first. You might blame your age, your job, or the weather. But the truth is, your most personal belongings are sitting in a field of energetic waste and absorbing it daily. Now imagine this setup lasting years. How many silent symptoms have you endured without knowing the cause? Even if the bathroom is clean and modern, even if it smells fresh and looks polished, the energy remains fundamentally dispersive. It moves things out. And anything placed near it, especially something as intimate as a wardrobe, slowly begins to participate in that motion. If your wardrobe is directly facing the toilet door, the impact intensifies. Each time the door opens, a wave of low-vibration energy moves straight into your clothing. The flow is no longer contained. It's directed. It's aimed. And your wardrobe becomes the first thing to receive it. So what's the solution? Ideally, move the wardrobe far from the bathroom area. Place it along a wall that has no direct energetic ties to waste flow. If that's not possible, create a buffer. Hang a full-length curtain across the bathroom door. Keep the door closed at all times. Use a room purifier or soft scent diffuser between the spaces. Place a healthy, leafy plant between the wardrobe and the bathroom. It will act as an energy filter, softening and absorbing the heavy flow. Salt is another simple solution. Place a small, open bowl of natural sea salt on or near the wardrobe's base, closest to the bathroom. Change it every 7 to 10 days. Salt pulls out stagnant energy and keeps the field around your belongings fresh and contained. One overlooked tip: ventilation. Make sure your bathroom has good airflow. A damp, closed bathroom is a trap for stagnation, and it radiates that outward. Keeping windows cracked or fans running even for short bursts daily can completely shift the field. Lastly, cleanse your wardrobe itself. Open it fully. Let it breathe. Wipe the inner shelves, the handles, the hinges. Burn a stick of calming incense nearby, like sandalwood or cedar, not to mask scent, but to recalibrate the subtle field. Your clothes deserve to rest in a space that uplifts them, not one that drains them slowly. You may have lived with this arrangement for years, but now with awareness you can shift the pattern. Your wardrobe isn't just a closet, it's a daily mirror of your energy. Let it reflect strength, softness, and clarity, not residue, fatigue, and unseen burdens. Protect it like you would your breath, because in many ways it holds it. 3. Facing the altar, the collision of worlds. If your wardrobe directly faces an altar, no matter how beautiful, expensive, or carefully designed, it's creating an energetic conflict that disturbs more than just aesthetics. It interferes with the sacred. Altars, whether for ancestors, spiritual guides, or simply a symbol of stillness, are not decoration. They are energetic portals. They carry frequencies that invite purity, reverence, and quiet connection to something beyond the day-to-day. That space, even if small, is a spiritual current. It requires space to breathe. It holds intention, memory, legacy, and light. And your wardrobe, though essential, deeply personal, and energetically potent, is also a storage of the mundane. It holds the noise of your daily life, your struggles, your vanity, your forgotten items, your past versions, your untidy days. It is the opposite of sacred. It is personal, emotional, physical. To place it directly facing the altar is to create a clash of realms: spirit and storage, offering and overflow, prayer and chaos. At first, the impact is invisible, a sense of tension when you sit to light incense, a wandering mind when you try to pray or reflect. The energy at the altar feels dull, less vibrant, less focused. You feel less connected, though you can't quite explain why. Over time, the symptoms deepen. Children in the home may become restless. The elderly may feel drained. Offerings seem to not reach somehow. Intentions feel blocked. Finances become unstable or progress stalls without reason. Small conflicts rise where there used to be harmony. That space which once brought grounding now carries a subtle discomfort. It's not superstition, it's interference. Think of the altar as a radio tuned to a very fine, clear frequency. When a wardrobe is placed directly in front of it, the cluttered energy of your daily life begins to cloud that signal. The room becomes spiritually noisy. The quiet clarity of the altar is muffled, not by sound, but by frequency mismatch. Even if your wardrobe is organized and clean, it's still an anchor of the physical world. Its job is to hold density, routine, repetition. The altar's job is the opposite, to elevate, cleanse, remind. Their energies should never face each other directly. So what can you do? First, if possible, move the wardrobe entirely out of sight from the altar. Even a shift of a few feet can change the flow dramatically. If space limits you, create visual and energetic separation. Hang a fabric curtain between the two. Use a screen, a vertical plant, or even a soft painting to interrupt the direct line of sight. Second, cleanse the altar. Light incense. Recenter your intention. Let the altar know it is still honored, still sacred, still the highest point of energy in that room. Third, shift how you use the wardrobe. Remove anything inside that feels heavy, outdated, or emotionally unresolved. Give it a breath of stillness. Polish its handles. Place a soft sachet of herbs inside, not to scent, but to neutralize. Sage, mugwort, or dried jasmine can help realign its tone. If your altar feels like it's lost its power, it hasn't. It's simply been overwhelmed. Once the visual and energetic interference is softened, its presence will return. And you'll feel it not just in prayer, but in your sleep, in your clarity, in the way your home feels lighter, calmer, more anchored. Spiritual energy doesn't demand perfection, but it asks for space, for reverence, and for the absence of static. Your wardrobe is necessary, but your altar is sacred. Let them exist without clashing. Let the sacred remain clear. Part 3. The wardrobe as a tomb for old energies. Your wardrobe might look clean, tidy, even organized. But beneath the folded sweaters and lined-up hangers, it could be the most emotionally stagnant place in your entire home. Wardrobes don't just store clothing, they store energy. And not just any energy, but the oldest, most unprocessed, most quietly forgotten kind. It's where someday items go to sleep, where clothes from another life still hang, where things you meant to wear again, but never did, live in silent limbo. Every item inside carries a frequency. A dress you wore when you were grieving, a coat from a job you hated, shoes you haven't touched since your health declined. They don't just sit there passively. They emit, they hold, they vibrate. And when those frequencies pile up unworn, unloved, unresolved, they begin to weigh down the entire space around them. The result: you feel heavy even after a full night's rest. You open your wardrobe and feel overwhelmed, uninspired. You put something on and suddenly your mood shifts, but not in a good way. You can't explain it, but something feels off the moment your fingers touch certain fabrics. That's not your imagination. That's old energy speaking. There's a reason we talk about emotional clutter. But this isn't just about too many items. It's about what those items hold. A wardrobe stuffed with clothes you haven't worn in years isn't just disorganized. It's a tomb of your unprocessed past, the forgotten you. The old hopes, the worn-out masks, the versions of yourself you haven't fully released. And energy can't flow in a tomb. When the inside of your wardrobe becomes stuck, so does everything around it. You find yourself delaying decisions, stuck in patterns, unable to move forward, even if you think you're ready. That job you want but never get. That change you crave but keep avoiding. That constant sense of being in between. Often it's because your physical space still reflects the version of you who doesn't move, who doesn't decide, who doesn't believe. The outer shows the inner. And if your wardrobe is chaotic, dusty, or silently screaming with unresolved energy, it's reflecting right back into your life. So what do? You don't just organize, you liberate. Start with this simple truth. If you haven't worn it in the last year, it's not part of your life, it's part of your past. Let it go, hold each item and feel it. Does it lift you or lower you? Does it carry warmth or weight? This is not about minimalism, it's about energetic honesty. Next, clean the surfaces, not just the shelves, but the hinges, the handles, the mirror, if there's one attached. Dust is not just dirt, it's stagnant kai. When you wipe it off, you're not cleaning furniture, you're unblocking flow. Then bring light into the space. Open the doors, let sunlight in if possible. Light is life force. And dark, cramped wardrobes hold the opposite. If natural light doesn't reach, use a soft, warm bulb nearby. Create the feeling of glow, as if the wardrobe itself is no longer hiding, but welcoming. Finally, introduce intention. Place a sachet of dried herbs, lavender, rosemary, or orange peel. These natural elements carry cleansing frequencies. You're not just freshening scent, you're resetting energy. And don't stop after one day. Your wardrobe, like your life, needs rhythm. Revisit it every few months. Clear out what's no longer real. Honor what still matters. Create space not just for clothes, but for breath, for clarity, for alignment. Your wardrobe is not meant to be a museum. It is not a graveyard. It should never feel like a place you avoid. It should feel like a soft, quiet ally, a space that says, here you're safe to change, to choose again, to live lighter. Because when you clear the tomb, what remains is space. And space in Feng Shui is not emptiness, it's invitation. Part 4, how to make your wardrobe a sanctuary. If your wardrobe holds the energy of your daily life, your emotions, your breath, your presence, then it should feel like a sanctuary, not a storage box. A place of quiet alignment, not quiet chaos. A wardrobe that supports your well-being doesn't just look neat, it feels right. It becomes a source of steadiness, a container of peace, and a silent guide for who you are becoming. Let's start with the material. The surface of your wardrobe speaks even before you open it. Cold, synthetic finishes like plastic laminates or polished metals may look sleek, but energetically they feel sterile. They reflect rather than absorb. They bounce energy back instead of grounding it. Over time, they can feel emotionally distant, like a room that looks perfect but never feels like home. In contrast, natural wood, especially unfinished or lightly treated, feels like breath. It absorbs and balances. Oak, ash, teak, cedar. These woods carry a quiet aliveness like the memory of forests. Their grain patterns, their soft scent, even their weight, everything about them supports grounding. A wooden wardrobe isn't just furniture, it's a stabilizing force. It helps your energy settle. It anchors the room. It says you're safe here. Next, consider shape. Avoid towering wardrobes that loom over the room. Avoid sharp corners and overly angular designs. Your wardrobe shouldn't feel like a wall. It shouldn't dominate the room or feel like it's closing in. Instead, look for balanced proportions. Soft curves, gentle lines, clean but not harsh. The visual energy of the wardrobe directly influences how your nervous system responds. When the shape is harmonious, you breathe easier. You feel calmer before you even realize why. Now let's talk color. Color, when chosen with awareness, acts like silent medicine. Earth tones, soft beige, muted browns, gentle taupes, bring stability and emotional comfort. Light natural wood tones invite openness and clarity. If your energy runs anxious or scattered, lean into warmer tones, terracotta, dusty rose, sage green. If your space feels heavy or stagnant, choose lighter, more airy hues, mist gray, soft cream, pale olive. The right color doesn't excite, it steadies. It creates an atmosphere you want to return to. Inside the wardrobe matters too. Divide your space with intention. Group clothes not just by type, but by purpose. Work clothes in one area. Rest clothes in another. Special items in a section of their own. Let the categories reflect your rhythms, not just your roles. Every time you reach for an outfit, you're reaching into a part of your identity. Make that process simple, elegant, and affirming. And then add life. Place a sachet of herbs on a shelf. Lavender for calm, cedar for cleansing, cinnamon for warmth. Use wooden hangers, not just for aesthetics, but for consistency and vibration. Add a soft cloth, a favorite photo, a handwritten intention tucked inside the door, something that reminds you this space is not just functional, it's emotional. Pay attention to scent. If your wardrobe smells musty or stale, don't cover it with artificial fragrance. Instead, cleanse. Open it wide. Let air move through. Light a stick of gentle incense nearby, not directly inside, but near enough to allow the smoke to bless the space. Let it remind the wardrobe that it too is alive, that it too deserves light. And finally, presence. Stand before your wardrobe not just to get dressed, but to reconnect. Touch the fabric, thank it. Notice what you've outgrown, not just in size, but in energy. Remove what no longer fits who you are becoming. Make space not for new things, but for new breath. A wardrobe aligned with your energy becomes more than organized, it becomes sacred. You deserve a wardrobe that doesn't just hold your clothes, but holds you. Quietly, gently, completely. Final, don't look away, not from the wardrobe and not from what it reveals. Because beneath the folded shirts and zipped-up memories, it is not just storing what you wear, it's reflecting how you live. You walk past it every day. Sometimes you pause, sometimes you sigh, and sometimes you don't even notice the weight it places on your breath, on your choices, on your spirit. But it knows. The wardrobe always knows. It knows the versions of you you've kept long past their season. It knows what you've outgrown but haven't had the heart to release. It knows the promises you once wore with pride, now gathering dust behind closed doors. And it waits not to accuse, not to judge, but to ask gently, are you ready to make space for who you are now? You don't need to renovate your home. You don't need to move mountains. You only need to begin with one door. One touch, one breath of honesty in front of the quietest witness you've ever had. Rearranging your wardrobe is not about tidying. It is about reclaiming. A simple act, yes, but not small, because energy never hides, it lingers. And what you choose to hold onto in your home, you also hold onto in your heart. So take the time. Open the doors, clear the weight, invite back the light, and when you're done, stand still. Not to admire what's changed, but to feel what's shifted. In the air, in the silence, in the soft return of ease, because in the end, your wardrobe is not just where you dress your body, it's where you undress your past. And maybe, just maybe, it's where your future finally finds enough room to enter.